And now we're live streamed. Hey, everyone, welcome. Okay, Mr. Greg.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to some of y'all. Welcome to the community briefing. My name is Gregory Sneed, and today is the 19th of May. I hope it's the 19th, right? Yeah, 19th of May in the year of 2022. And today our guest is Miss Carol D. Anderson. She'll share with us later what the D stands for, other than dynamic. So she'll be with us shortly to give us some wonderful and fabulous information. But until such time, it is my pleasure to introduce myself. My name is Gregory Sneed, and I have a company, Lifesaver Financial Services. I help my clients with life insurance, annuities, long-term care, final expense. I'm also a financial coach and a financial literacy trainer. I will have some information in the chat about how to get in touch with me, because I believe that when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. And now, without further delay, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome to the virtual stage the queen of our community briefing, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Good morning, everyone. We're in the mid month of May and on our way to Memorial Day weekend. I woke up this morning and there was a sale ad from Macy's. It's like, Memorial already? Oh my goodness. Welcome to the community briefing. This platform is designed for you by us to make sure that we know exactly what's going on in our community, and you get an opportunity to meet the leaders and the stakeholders and our business community and our community in general, as to who's doing what and how they're doing it, and also to give you firsthand information so that you can make firsthand decisions. My name is Crystal Mitchell. I'm the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. I have my own business as well called Mitchell Business Solutions. I provide coaching and consulting and mentorship for small business community. I do work for multiple organizations here in the community, both adults and youth. And I am happy to have you guys here. In addition to the community briefing, many of you have seen me and my business partner, Mr. Gilbert Buchanan, on the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. That broadcasts live every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. We are celebrating our 7th year on air, so we're super excited. And in addition to that, I launched with another partner, another podcast called Communications on the Patio. So I feel media is our way to salvation. And so that if we don't read it, we can at least hear it, and it can be repeated multiple times. So welcome. This is your platform. Please put your comments and introduce yourself in the chat, and make sure you speak with the people off air as well as on air, and tell everybody about us. We want to grow our platform. We too have been on air, guys. For going on our 3rd year? Is it 3rd year? So 3 years. So we're excited about that. We want you to be excited. This is our platform, so you should be overjoyed like we are. So with that, Stephen, are you going to wait to the end to introduce yourself? All righty. And then we want to know our 4th teammate is Miss Robin Billups. She is going through treatment right now, so we want to keep her in our prayers, and she will be back with us when she's strong and ready. So we know she's here. She watches and she listens, and so we love you, Robin, and we can't wait for you to come back. So with that, I am turning it back
Prayers
over
and
to
blessings.
Greg.
Prayers and blessings to you, Robin. Mm-hmm. Couple of hearts going up on the screen. Amen. Everybody give a heart. Everybody give a heart. Everybody know how to do the heart?
Yeah, do a heart for Miss Robin.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if they'll show up on the recording or not, but
Yeah.
we'll just do
A heart.
Yeah, our hearts are with you.
Okay.
So today we have Miss Carol D. Anderson. What's the D stand for? Other than dynamic? You're muted, so.
Carol Denise.
Denise. All right. Yeah. Good.
But I like your D.
Dynamic. Carol Dynamic Anderson. Yes.
I'll take it.
Okay. Yeah. So Carol she is the managing partner and principal consultant of Anderson Finance Consulting LLC. And that is an outsourced CFO services company that was founded in 2018. And it expands the profit and growth possibilities of small to medium sized companies, helping them get from stagnant to and declining profits to growing and new products and what have you, maybe acquisitions. And she leverages almost 20 years of experience in corporate finance, in financial planning and analysis, in ventures, ranging from entrepreneurial endeavors as a consultant to multi-million-dollar initiatives as a corporate employee in such companies as Starbucks, Best Buy, Teledyne, Westfield Corporation, just to name a few. So she leads this organization or her consulting group to help create superior value for client companies. And she's going to tell us a lot more about that. She's an astute communicator and coach. She makes finance palatable, which means you can just sit up there and eat up some finance, right? Palatable. Easily to translate and execute via trainings, coaching, and development. She holds an MBA from finance from the University of Notre Dame, Mendoza College of Business. And she also has an undergrad degree and a second master's of accounting in corporate finance from the University of Southern California. I see any signs going up? Anybody?
Fight on, fight on.
And also with her professional life, she's an avid adventure traveler. She'll tell us more about that. Maybe bungee cord jumping or parachute jumping or, safaris out in Kenya, what have you. A sports enthusiast, arts aficionado, and writer. She resides in Los Angeles, and she will share with us where she grew up. Did you grow up here in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you from?
Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's really a pleasure to be with you. And as I shared with Greg and Crystal earlier, typically I shy away from the camera, but today here we are. I think it's really important to share the work that I do and how I support entrepreneurs and small businesses primarily. But I grew up in Belize. I'm from the Caribbean. So if you hear a slight accent, just know that's what it's from. Very proud.
I've been there
Oh,
three
wonderful.
times now. Yeah, 3 times.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm always pleased when I hear that folks have had the opportunity either to interact with my country folk or have visited, like Greg shared.
Oh,
So,
you can't. I gotta take this off a minute here. Wait, I
oh,
take
you
my
have a
video.
pelican.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can see that
make me
Pelican
fall into
beer.
my Creole.
Uh-huh. Like with the ladies on the back here. So my Pelican
That
beer
is,
coaster.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a local beer. I don't drink
Sorry.
beer, but that's a local beer.
All right. Sorry to
Um,
interrupt, but go ahead. Thank you.
Not at all, not at all. And so, I just wanted to share, primarily I support funded startups and small businesses that are either in trouble or transition. I help them to design a strategy that helps them to achieve sustainable and quality earnings, quality profits. Um, I'm expanding further into compliance and other areas, but today I just want to focus primarily on those who are starting new ventures or interested in growing a venture that they're very passionate about. Oftentimes I have entrepreneurs come to me with interests in things that, they're just really either savvy at or they're very passionate about their products or services and they want to create something new, but they're not comfortable or familiar with the actual part of how to set up a business, how to run a business, how to understand their financials. And that's the key piece that I support them on. As you mentioned, I'm an outsourced CFO, a chief financial officer on retainer. So I may serve in an interim role for an organization that's established, or I may come in and just take on a component of finance for them. My services are primarily in 3 different areas, either in corporate finance, which is where I help them to develop their strat plans. It's business advisory, and it's coaching business leaders and business founders. I will start by saying, though, that those of you who know me know that I live my life in a very full way. And I highly recommend my clients do the same. Live life and do business from a very strategic and intentional way. Of course, oftentimes we hear the word strategic and strategy thrown around, and I'll go into a little bit of that to clarify so that it helps you understand how I support my clients. But any of those dreams, all those things you have on the back burner that you've been living and thinking about doing, go ahead and do them. Take them off the bucket list. All the goals that you have for your business ideas or writing your books, all of those are things that I actually support clients in moving forward and ultimately creating. All of these things will lead them to generating revenue and ultimately flow through to the profits. So 2 words that I like to clarify when I explain business to new business leaders, the word finance, and then I'll get into strategy. Oftentimes people conflate accounting and finance. They just treat it as one, bookkeeping, and they treat it as one. Yes, as a chief financial officer, all of finance responsibilities fall under that person. If you are in a larger organization, an established company that has an on-site CFO, that would include accounting, audit, treasury, taxation, business segment, finance, etc. The part that I primarily focus on is the corporate finance piece, which is the forward-looking projections of a business's performance. Accounting tends to account for how a business has performed in the past. How much revenue did we generate January of 2020? How much in comparison to how much revenue have we generated in January of 2021 versus how much revenue we've generated in January of 2022. So when you look at that information historically that the accountant records, the finance person then takes that information to project into the future in conjunction with macro and micro issues around your business, around your industry, around your market, around your types of products, etc. All of that information in combination helps you to project out what the future performance of your business can potentially be. And that's the area that I primarily work in. I help businesses primarily build a strategic plan, which I believe is fundamental to the success of their businesses. Most times, as I mentioned, the people who come to me are savvy and very passionate about the product or service they offer, but they don't understand the actual administrative part of managing and running a business. And so when I work with them one-on-one to develop that strategic plan, we look at all areas of the business and develop a plan that is multi-year, forward-looking. We look at how does their product sit in the market? Is their product unique? Is it, is it a fragmented industry? Are there multiple competitors? Do multiple competitors sit in the actual market that they're trying to serve? What is the economy doing at the time that they're either developing a business, trying to grow their business, or just trying to get back into the black, right? Remain profitable. So we look at the macro issues, as I just mentioned, and then you look at the micro issues. Those are the things that are internal to their business. All of those things are accounted for in that strat plan. I had one of my clients tell me, oh, wow, this is a business plan on steroids, which really is what it is. Because once you take that document, you can use it to speak with any of your stakeholders, whether you're trying to have a conversation about what your business plan is with an investor, with a new partner, with people you're trying to hire, suppliers, vendors. Once you understand the inner workings of your business to that extent, you're able to have those conversations very comfortably, and you don't necessarily have to rely in the long term on someone like me. So I work with clients so that they are comfortable understanding the inner workings of their businesses, as well as having the confidence to communicate what their businesses are about with any of the key stakeholders they have to partner with. Parts of the document that we prepare, not only do I have them incorporate the what's, the whys, about why they're even in business, and how they plan on running their business, but certainly the operating model of their business, what their marketing strategy is, to move them forward over time, over multiple years. Where do they need capital? Do they need capital or funding? How and whom do they want to partner with to grow financially? Or what is their leadership like? Do they have the intellectual capital in-house to do what it is that they're aspiring to? All of those things, most business founders don't really think of it early on. All they know is they have a product they want to put to market, and they need funding. The other parts they don't often think about. So once we have one of these documents designed, they are much freer to move forward and stay focused. So they stay away from the noise of, oh, this new thing just came in, let me try that, or this new thing other business owners are doing, let me try that. Instead, they have their North Star that they're focused on to progress their business over multiple years. So that's the general of what I do. Obviously, the why is, I just think when we live our lives in a very deliberate way, and we do our businesses in a very deliberate way, it helps us to achieve, once we stay focused, but it helps us to achieve the things to keep us to feeling fulfilled and excited about life and watching things move to levels of success, right? So that's what I primarily, why I do what I do and why I love to do what I do. And the how, I work with folks primarily one-on-one. I'm actually creating, however, a group, 3-session group, abbreviated group process if there are viewers who might be interested in having this kind of support as they're developing their business ideas. So that's something that we can talk about, and I can offer to your guests if they would like. So, that's generally how things progress. And I'm open to questions, of course.
So how did you, what inspired you to actually get into finance and accounting from the very beginning? I mean, you're coming out of high school and we've got all these different occupations that are available to us. And many of us have went to school for something and end up doing something completely different. And then some went to school for exactly what they're doing. So what was that inspiration?
Well, I'm one of those that went to school for something. I went to school with the intentions of going to medical school and becoming a cardiothoracic surgeon. I was all the way to applying to medical schools and decided to go into a corporate world just to experience what it was to make quick money so that I can apply for my schools and travel across the United States to visit said schools. And it was while I was at Westfield that the VP that I supported pulled me aside and said, I really think you should consider business school. And at the time I was like, no, I've got this plan, leave me alone. I've got it figured out. Don't mess with me. And he said, you know what, the way you think and the way you process through material, the kinds of questions you ask, they really would set you up well if you were to go for business instead. And it's interesting because as a child, my father he's retired now, but had a construction company. So our family grew up with a family business. And my father never hired an outside assistant. He's like, I've got all these daughters. Somebody can be in the office. Of course, we're from the Caribbean, right? So the machismo thing was the girls would be his office assistants. But from age 12, I had to manage payroll for my dad's day laborers. He would send me to the bank for thousands of dollars, and little old me looking over, barely looking over the counter. And the banking folks are like, no, and I said, well, my dad sent me. They're like, well, you better go get your dad. So I'd go get my dad and he'd come. He says, it's okay. She's, and I'd give them the deposit slip. They'd give me the money. I'd literally put thousands of dollars in my pocket. And I'd go home, go to the office and get get all the day laborers, salaries pulled together and make sure that it was to be balanced to the dollar. That was my dad's only rule, be balanced to the dollar. So once I learned that rule, I started buying my little Jet magazines and my Essence magazines, and I just included it in the line items. So when the VP shared that information with me, I started, obviously, when someone plants, a seed, you kind of consider it, and I did. Interestingly, the moment I took my my GMATs, universities around the nation, they follow what the performance is of test takers, and I got a beautifully embossed. I'm a sucker for beautiful things. I got a beautifully embossed invitation from Notre Dame to visit. I had never considered them. I was looking at all the schools in California, except one that shall go unnamed across town, Deborah. But anyway, they came and I went out to visit, and that was it. Once I got into my first class, my finance professor really inspired me. He ultimately became the provost of the university, but John Graves really inspired me into a career in finance. And when I think back about all the things that I had aspired to around my career, this was actually the right place. And so it fits so beautifully with who I am, with my character, my interest in a variety of things. So I get to work with clients from multiple different industries in varying stages of business building or business growth. So it gives me a wide opportunity of lots of things to see and do in business.
I also noticed on your longer version that you took a year and change as a travel sabbatical, and looks like you went to a couple places here and there. Tell us a little more about that.
Just a few. When you come from a small country, you are very aware that the world is much bigger than your small environment. Belize is only 105 miles long, 50 miles wide, about 55 miles wide. And as children, my parents exposed us to everything. We would travel to the neighboring countries, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras. We traveled quite extensively. My parents also traveled around the world a lot. And every time they came home, we would always do slideshows. And my father would explain everything that he saw. So it was in us. We're born, you dance, and you have a passport. That's standard fare. Well, at least in our family. And so everybody in our family are travelers. I probably, again, took it on steroids because I've been to about 60 countries around the world, and I continue.
Six zero. Did you repeat that? Right. Yeah.
Yes.
60. That's a lot.
Yes. And on that particular trip, adventure, I visited just about 30, a little under 30, I think maybe 27 or so. I was gone for 9 months. For me, this is why I started the conversation by saying that it's so key that we live very strategically and intentionally. Those of you on here who know me personally, and I see some familiar faces, they know that everything about what I do and everything about my work is so that I can experience life, right? I love that I can help my clients. I love the work that I do, but I do what I do so that I can live fully. And that passion is absolutely a key part of my life. visiting places. So I know my city very well. I know my state very well. I visited all of the lower 48s. Last summer, I took a 6-week Amtrak train ride to complete my lower 48s. I had 5 states remaining, and I've done them. I only have Alaska and Hawaii to visit, and and so all across the U.S. as well and around the world. I only have Antarctica as my 7th continent to complete, and I expect that will be very, very soon.
That's
That's
fabulous.
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I saw that. I said, okay, that's even the fact that she had it listed as travel sabbatical.
Correct.
Yeah, I've been to 40 of the 50, so you definitely have you've got me beat. That's quite often, and that's my bucket list to get to the
To the
to the
50.
others.
Keep in mind that Amtrak does in the summertime, they do a national pass that you get 10 legs for $298, $300 or so. So keep it in mind as one of the things you might want to throw on your bucket list.
Awesome. I
Mhm.
think I've been to 24, but wow, okay, I got some work to do.
My goal is to visit actually every country in the world. And typically when I go places, as you mentioned in my bio, I'm also a massive sports fan. I I actually visit countries for sports. So I've been to cricket matches and soccer matches. I was raised in the Caribbean, so that for us is football. I've been to the biggest, what was at the time, Maracana was the biggest soccer stadium in the world in Rio de Janeiro. So I've been to those. I've been to most of the tennis opens. I think I've missed only Australian Open. I've been to the French, the British. I mean, you know what I mean. It escapes me now, but the U.S. Open, and it, and I go to the theater in all of those in major cities around the world. So it's wonderful to experience, not only to see the places and meet people, but to experience how they do what they love as well.
Who's a good client for you, and you have a website and how they get in touch with you, and so when someone says, hey, I need help, you take anybody, or is there a certain focus or a niche that works well?
Thank you for that. I mentioned funded startups because most startups need the support, but don't have the funds to carry the cost. To build a strat plan is $15,000. It's done over a 9 to 10 week period. I work with them one-on-one. And there are other things. In fact, some of the other prices are changing a little. So whatever's on the website, my website is AndersonFinanceConsulting.com. And Anderson, SON, and finance, not financial. So AndersonFinanceConsulting.com. When you can go on there and book an appointment, I often offer, in fact, I always offer a 20-minute complimentary evaluation so that someone can share with me what their goals are and their interests are for their business, and we can determine whether whether they're an ideal client or not. So industry, I'm wide open because every company needs the support. It's more whether they can afford to cover the cost to get the work done. What I often tell them too, though, is that even during the process that we're working together, they can begin to participate in pitch competitions. So clients of mine have generated funding from pitch competitions well before completing their strat plans, just because by that time they understand, they've begun to understand how to speak about their business from a finance and business point of view. They now have the language, which is something I coach them on. And they begin to understand what it means to be bankable. They also understand what it means to be in compliance, right? What they need to do so that they are an attractive offer. And I've had that happen where they go for pitch competitions and actually win.
Carol, so one thing I think is fantastic is that you world traveled, right? So I've noticed the difference through my friends that are from other countries, how they view the world, how they view business. They see it on a much broader scale. So in your consulting, I assume that's what you're bringing, right? You're bringing an open mindedness that you see your business broader than the borders of the United States.
Absolutely. I'm working with a client right now who's actually in a nonprofit, and he's creating something in San Francisco that is really incredible. I mean, they're working to support the underserved from a wholeness perspective. But in our first conversation, I was sharing with him, I said, you realize that the model that you're now creating can be duplicated in every city across the United States, right? And it doesn't stop there. It now expands worldwide. And he just he just inhaled that of the possibility, the magnitude of what that meant for him. But he knows that it is possible. And that's where I stand. I stand that absolutely everything is possible. Everything is possible. There are two questions that I start off in my conversations with clients. How much money do you want to make and by when? It doesn't matter to me what the size. What it means, though, the more aggressive the plan, it means that the harder we're going to work to get it done. And I'm the driver. I am the driver. So what I do bring is the global perspective. I bring my networks. I went to USC and Notre Dame, and I've been very actively involved in both. So I bring my networks. I'm also a major networker myself, even beyond that. So all of the resources that I have available to me then become, all of those become part of what my clients get to benefit from. The biggest piece I would say, though, is believing in what they're doing and believing the possibility of creating what it is that they set out to create. I'm the encourager. I like to say I'm the Olympics coach. I get you across the finish line with that medal. And so let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
And
Everything
I
is possible.
find that in our communities, that's definitely what they need. They need that person to rah rah and tell them that it's okay and that it is a broader world. And that I think it's that question. I was talking to Karen Blackwell. Everyone knows Karen Blackwell, I'm sure. And that's the first question out of her mouth for any consulting she does is, how much money are you making? How much money do you want to make? And you got to start there. You got to be honest with that part of your business, right? It's not an afterthought. It is the thought that you're
Right.
in business. You're in business to make money. Renee, you had a question for Carol? You have to unmute.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Carol. Your life is amazing. And I'd like to ask how is your father still living? Did he get to see all of what you've done because of that little 12-year-old he sent to the bank?
Yes, actually he is. And it's wonderful. I lost my mommy in 2020, but it was wonderful that they both have seen what all their children became. And yes, so yes. And to let you know, life has not been, and business has not been just easy peasy and smooth. I've lost it all. I've gained it back. I've lost it all. I've just been a risk taker. I've been somebody that's willing to push for, even in the face of fear. And I have had the fears. When I got into creating my business, um, I was a happy corporate employee. I liked being able to go do my job, pay me well, and I go hit the world, right? That's something that I was happy with. Um, Except I found that in corporate environments, um, I felt that I was being stifled, that I couldn't fully express all of the gifts that I had, that I could contribute to an organization. I didn't, as an immigrant, I couldn't understand how to navigate the politics of the environment. Um, and so I had a mentor, Gail, Crystal, um, And it was he who said, I think you should do this as an outsourced. The moment he said it, it literally lit up. He said, I'll give you time to think about it. I'll happily support you. And I said, no, 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 I don't need time. That's exactly what I need to do. I need to continue. I will be able in this role as an outsourced CFO, continue to deliver what it is that I deliver, but I will be going in and out of companies. So I won't be living in a particular company where I have to deal with politics. So it was the perfect fit for me. And so that's how, I've had it develop since then.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, Gil. If you don't know Gil Cargill, you guys need to introduce yourself to him. He was on the Business Zone a couple weeks ago. He is going to show businesses how to find $30,000 to $100,000 within their business. The man is old school guru IBM salesperson. So
Yes.
he does not rely on digital marketing. He goes old school with his sales strategy. So you guys reach out to him on LinkedIn. Join his class. He has one on Monday, actually at 9 a.m. You really want to listen to Gil. He's awesome.
He is a phenomenal salesperson, influencer, the real deal kind of influencer, in the way he speaks and encourages. So I was very grateful for my time interacting with him in that capacity that brought forth Anderson the Finance Consultant.
So Carol, what would be some of the strategy points, and they can be broad, I understand this is your business, that you would provide to some of our small business community or our owners here on how to even get to a place where they can afford you or anyone else that's on your level? Because I think if they have that goal set, I think it would be really beneficial for a lot of our business owners on just what are the strategies to get from where they are today to a bigger space so that they're not struggling trying to keep making sure ends meet just to keep their doors open.
And I understand that. I've experienced that myself. I think part of it is really analyzing the market that you're in. Begin to understand, because see, the thing of it is, if people are very good at crocheting hats, right? And they want to put the hats on the market. Mm-hmm. That's a thing, and that's fine, because there are people who like there's a market for that. What I would say though is investigate where that market is. Is that market in the digital space? Is that market at country fairs? Is that market at swap meets? Is that market at, international conferences? Like, where is that market? You want to figure out what all there is to understand about the industry you've chosen, right? So that would be one. The second is it's very challenging to say because most businesses need the professional support and professional services. They need business advisory, they need a tax person, they need an attorney to check on their contracts. They need a bookkeeper to keep them in line and making sure that things are in place. But this is why I said what I wanted to offer to your clients is something much less, where they can spend 3 sessions. It'll be an abbreviated format, $1,500, 3 sessions, and it'll be in a group setting, not a one-on-one. So we can work that out, however, if that's possible, that we can do so that people who are really starting out can actually get the support and get the same level of support that I provide those who can afford to spend whatever they can afford to spend.
Awesome. That's well worth it. I've invested in skill sets, and we do have to invest in ourselves in order to be better business owners. So being able to carve that out especially um, if it's going to take you to that next level, and you know yourself in your heart that you don't have a clue how to get there. So
Right.
you get what you pay for. That's what I always say. so
True. I
so
mean, and I know what it feels like to really want to do something and not be in a financial position to take care of it, you know. Um, but if, like I said, whatever it is that somebody is selling, you make sure that you're wise with whatever you've earned and invest that money in your business and in yourself so that you can get to the next level where you can afford the other kinds of support that's necessary to get you even higher over time, over a shorter period of time than a long period of time.
awesome. Anyone have any questions or comments for Miss Carol while she's here with us? I think this is awesome. Um, I, I too wanted to be a doctor, and diverted and found my way in corporate America and found my way in the business and finance world. But
Mhm.
I will say this for you, my dear. We make finances, and I know Kathy is on the call as well.
That's
We
right.
make finances sexy, man. We're not your average CPAs and accountants. We have some flair to us.
That's
So
right.
that's cool.
That's right. You know, I also neglected to share, you know, when I coach business leaders and business founders, oftentimes it is about helping them to get their personal lives in order.
Mm.
Because when they come to me, they're very excited about what they want to create, but they're stuck and they don't understand why they're stuck. So I have this protocol that I developed where people dissect their own lives into 20 different areas. So, for example, as a woman, Crystal, it would be, who are you as a woman in the world? Who are you as a partner, as a mother, if you want to be a mother? Who are you as a sister, as a daughter? Who are you as a businesswoman, as an author? Whatever sections of your life are critical: financial, spiritual, health and wellness, all of those. And they dissect themselves into these areas. We measure where you are now and then create a life plan, a dream map of their lives, of how they want to live. It is basically a strategic plan for your own life. Just as much as we do a strategic plan for the business, they create a plan that's similar, but for their lives. And what it does, immediately people identify the time wasters, they identify the things that don't serve them, they identify places where they're investing that's not worth investing in, and they become laser focused on living a high quality, fulfilled, exciting life. I live exactly what I do. So I get very, very excited. I get very excited when I'm working with people because I can see the transformation happening when their eyes are open, like, oh, you mean I get to choose? Yes, you get to choose what success in your life looks like, right? Because for each of
Hmm.
us, that could be something very different. For me, success is freedom, financial freedom, the freedom and flexibility to do life the way I would like, the ability to get up and I can work from anywhere in the world. I've had a client in Italy. All I did was I just adjusted the time. When I spent 3 months in the UK assisting taking care of my aunt when she passed in her estate, I could still call home and interact with my clients. I spent 3.5 months in the Middle East. It was in the middle of the night, but I was calling my client in Texas to make sure that things were taken care of. So that's part of what my motivation is, to live the life that I do, right? So I identify or have the clients identify what success looks like for them. And then we design the life that suits that. That's how you
Awesome.
get to being strategic and intentional and fulfilled.
And not having to wait till you retire in order to live your
Please
life.
don't do that. Please don't do that, people. Don't do it, please. There are too many people who are retiring, and it's very sad. Too many people are retiring and they pass away within 5 years of retirement, 2 years of retirement. Just the other day, someone very close to me retired. Within 6 months, he was gone. So please don't do that. Find some part of your week, your day, your year to do something that is just for you. that just brings you joy and fulfillment.
Right,
Awesome.
because your job can't be your entire life, because once that goes away, then what's left of your life? And that's why, yeah, a lot of times that happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to briefly share, because you have a wonderful looking website here. So this is her site. This is right. Yes, yeah.
Yep.
This is her site here, and provides with the services, business analysis, profit planning, project management, training and coaching. All right, got some blogs there, information about her, the mission statement and what have you, the
Are you
services.
sharing? I don't think you're sharing.
Yes,
No,
Is
I
he?
can see it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can't see it.
I can see it.
Okay, that's me then. Okay.
and I can see it.
All right. It was me. Okay, there we
Okay.
go.
All
Beautiful.
right. Strategic business analysis, profit planning. So there's a lot of information about what she does. So sometimes we have questions, and she's done a very good job in laying that out. We have here where you can set and book an appointment. You click in your information here. I imagine that give some questions about what you need and submit that. She's got it set up where she can get payment. I like that, girl. Get the one-time payment or recurring, and then a blog, and then the contact. So we have her website in the chat, and if this is something of interest to you,
And I can give you my email as well for those of you on the call. It's carol@andersonfinanceconsulting.com. Even if you just have questions, feel free. For all of those on the call, just feel free to shoot me your questions, and however I can support you in getting those questions answered, I'll do that. Happily do that.
what one last question, and then we'll open up, see if anybody has anything. What do you cover at all in business in terms of what is the end game? So, okay, you're going into business. So now, are you looking to sell the business, or have a family member take over? I know businesses transition from generation 1 to generation 2 pretty highly, but the drop off from Gen 2 to Gen 3 is dramatic and staggering.
Right.
So how do you cover that? Is that part of the
That
process?
the exit strategy is included as part of the strat plan. So some people are creating their businesses as their passion project, so they want to hold on to it as the owner forever. And then later on, they think, well, maybe I might pass it on to one of my children if they're interested, or grandchildren. There are those who are in business because they want to sell it. That's a business operating model, that they're creating it, growing it so that they can sell it, make money. Most of the digital companies are this way, right? If you think of the startups that have since been bought out by major brands, making people multimillionaires. So the exit strategy is included as part of the strat plan. Absolutely.
And what kind of mix are you seeing? Is it mostly to hold on to it, or mostly to sell? Is that shifting? I
Well,
think.
yeah, initially it's to hold on to. I have a WNBA player who's got a new project, and at the moment it's her passion project, but already the consideration is where it can go from here, and to take it to the massive next level may need to be bought out by somebody. So it just depends. For the most part, I'm seeing people wanting to keep businesses in their families, but I have the one-offs every now and then that are looking for the long term to sell in about 3 to 5 years.
Okay. Next question is going to go back to the travel part. Top 3 countries that you would just love to go back to, and then maybe the bottom 3 is like, okay, I checked off the box, but there's no way I'm ever thinking to go back there.
Well, I don't often go to the same place, repeat places, simply because there's so many other places to see. But I do have my top 3, and there isn't one that I would not recommend, because my goal is to visit all. So I'm interested, my highest interest right now is Saudi Arabia. Iran, I've had some friends make it to Iran. So I'm interested in getting there. I want to go to the places that most people, wouldn't even consider. Yemen. I want to go to them all. But my top three, which happen to actually be five, because number three, there's a tie for three countries. My number one is Morocco. Absolute, absolute beautiful people, beautiful architecture, beautiful colors and vibrant, the desert, the spirituality, all of it. So Morocco for me is number one. Nepal for almost the same reason, number two. And I have a thing for Everest. It's my dream to get to Everest. I may only be able to do base camp, but if I can hike it, I actually befriended a Sherpa, somebody who's of the Sherpa tribe, and he takes expeditions up to the top. So every time I see him mention something, I'm like, I'm coming. It's like, anytime you're ready, Carol, anytime you're ready. So that's out there. Look out for that. And then my number three is tied for the same reason. They're beautiful, just absolutely stunning. New Zealand, Brazil, and Iceland. Yeah, stunning. If you can get to Iceland, New Zealand, do it. And all of those countries, well, especially Iceland and New Zealand, they're designed for tourists. They literally have things laid out in such a way that it makes it so easy. Iceland has a ring road around the entire country, and they allow you to camp in whatever you get, cars, vans, campers, whatever. You literally pull to the side of the road and sleep. And it's safe and stunning, just absolutely stunning. You can do the fancy hotels too if you want, right? That's allowed. But and Brazil is just raw and beautiful, the people and stuff. When I'm there, they think I'm Brazilian, so I love that too. So Paraguay was a place, when I popped into Paraguay, it was overwhelming. But it's no different when I think about it now than when you land in Mexico and there are people hawking everything. But Paraguay was on steroids. Uruguay, on the other hand, is very pretty and peaceful. It's kind of like Argentina. They share lots of cultural things in common, Argentina and Uruguay in South America.
Do you have fluency in any languages other than English?
I can be dangerous in Spanish. I know enough to be dangerous, basically. But I'm comfortable. I mean, Belize is English speaking, but in Central America, but it's all its neighbors are Spanish speaking. So a lot of our foods and words and such are, Spanish influence. So it's natural to me to hear it. So living in Los Angeles, it's easy when I communicate or when I hear people communicating to understand what they're saying and to be able to share a word or two with them. The funny thing is, though, in my travels, when I'm in a country where English is not the primary language and I actually speak in Spanish, which is the weirdest thing when it happened to me the first time. Even if I'm in Asia, wherever I am, and they don't speak English, my instinct is to switch to Spanish. So just odd. One of those little odd tidbits.
And you don't get targeted as an American as well, so that
well, my accent abroad is not. They don't hear my English or Caribbean accent. They hear the American accent because their ear is not fine-tuned to distinguish the differences in the Englishes, if that's such a word. If you understand what I mean. So a foreigner, someone from another country who's not an English speaker, a native English speaker, doesn't hear cannot distinguish the difference. So they just hear my American accent. So it's kind of funny. So they know right off. I can't hide it.
Carol, you are delightful. You just so much energy, so much spirit, and as Michelle Bell said, that you're just inspiring, and she is enjoying your passion, and you have a passion for life, and that's good. And I too want to grow up like you and travel the world. I'm gonna have to add that to my bucket list.
Please do. And if you have any questions about that, I will stay up all night talking about that. Without a doubt. I can tell you where to go, how to go, where to go for the best and the best. Oh, by the way, always buy airline tickets on a Tuesday. It's the
Oh,
cheapest day to buy airline tickets. The best place to look for airline tickets is Skyscanner or skyscanner.com, or use the ITA matrix. And what that
IT.
ITA, capital I, capital T, capital A matrix, what
Okay.
that does is it takes the two city pairs and it finds all the routes that match those city pairs. It tells you what days are the cheapest and which carriers travel those. So those are my travel tips for today.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call you about that because my niece is having a baby, and I'm going to Egypt in August, the hottest part of the year. So I definitely will be calling you
Good,
about that
good.
for sure. You
That
have
was
been in. Go
Yeah, that
ahead,
was
Greg.
good. That was my secret when I did business international travel, and I had the OAG, the official airline guide, which was the size of a telephone book back then, and you would look at city pairs, and you can find flights that they're not going to show you in the in Travelocity orbits because they're pushing different things.
Particular flights,
just,
right?
just like flying from, let's say, from London to Germany. Obviously, you would either do British Airways or Lufthansa, but like Thai Airways
Correct.
flies there, so you can get anyway. So it was good. But yeah, thank you so much.
It's
That
my
that was
pleasure.
fabulous, and yeah, I do encourage people to travel. So I think the combination of the finance and the traveling was been awesome. And my wife's in. Have you been to Cuba? Why shush? I mean, yeah, you get people go.
Wait, you're not supposed to go from the, well, you can't go directly from the United States
Yeah, actually, you
anymore.
can. Actually, you
Oh,
can, and I
Well, yeah,
have.
you can, but
And
you have
my
to go
wife
through
and
the
her
processes.
business partner, are able to coordinate trips to Cuba through an educational process,
Correct.
and so yeah, you are able to go.
Yeah.
But it can happen. But yeah, that's fabulous. That's fabulous.
yeah. My
Yeah.
girlfriend is Cuban, so she travels there, and
And if you travel with a native person or a person who's national to that country, you get to, it's also allowed.
Yeah,
So,
her business partner is Cuban.
correct.
So
Yeah.
she knows, she goes to the inner parts of the of the country, and I've seen parts of Belize that out by the key, Half Moon Key and Turn of Reef,
Oh,
Lighthouse Reef.
yes.
So I stayed out there for 5 days, just anchored in the. I'm a
Wow.
scuba diver, so that was part. So I've seen parts of Belize that most Belizeans have never seen.
Right, right. So
50,
you're out
60,
there by the Blue Hole. Were you out by the
60.
Blue
Yeah, I've
Hole?
done the Blue Hole too.
Yeah.
I've done the Blue Hole. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I'm
thank you
getting
so much for
certified in
joining us.
driving. It's been my pleasure, you guys. And if you want to do one just on travel, we can do that too.
oh yeah, I'm gonna have you on the business zone, and we're gonna talk about travel. And then I'm gonna call you because I do need to schedule my flight out for Egypt. Thank you
Renee
so
wants to
much.
know if you've been to, I'm sorry, Tanzania.
Not yet. It's on my
Okay.
list. I go to Ghana in later in the year, and when I do, I'm going to do what I call a sweep, and I'm going to capture a few extra countries. So it's my dream to overland the motherland, which means drive the entire thing. But I don't know that I'll be able to do that, so I might just have to do the flying parts. So Tanzania is one of my top of my list. Yeah.
I'm
Stephen and
going
Crystal, back to you. I'm done.
I'm sorry, Renee. What was that?
to Tanzania in July.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. I'm going to South Africa as well at the end of the year, so I'm going to get some traveling in as well.
Good.
I'm looking forward to it. Stephen, you want to tell us who's coming next week and
Yes.
about yourself?
Again, Carol, on behalf of everyone at the community briefing, we thank you for the time, your participation, and the insight you provided us. Carol D. Anderson is the epitome of what this show is all about, bringing you timely, relevant information for the Black business community. Next week, we have the candidate for the state assembly, Tina McKerran. Did I pronounce that right, Greg? Right. And the following week, we have Kern Price, and then we have Leonardo from the Brotherhood Crusade. But then tune in next Thursday, May 26th.
Awesome. Awesome. And the community briefing is powered and sponsored and supported by Recycling Black Dollars and the Black Business Association. And we are so happy to have you guys here. Please continue to come back. Tell some friends. Let's grow this to be our media network that's telling our stories and narrating what we need to hear, what the world needs to hear about our community. As you can see, we're thriving. We are travelers. We are financially literate. We are running successful businesses, and we are a vital part of the United States and of the world. No matter what they tell you, we are. Prayers and blessings for those families in Buffalo, New York that lost their loved ones. That is my home. That is my birthplace, Buffalo, New York, and I am definitely shocked. I grew up in a city that was multicultural and a lot of love, and it was too cold there to be anything else but loving. And all of a sudden, hatred has taken over the city that I was born in, and it's sad. So let's pray for us. Let's pray for our all our cities that for some reason or another, people want us removed from this world. So let's pray and let's be strong and let's create one voice so that we can make a bigger impact and let people know that we are valued. We are valued. Andre, before we leave.
Yeah, he's got a question. He looks like he's by UCLA.
No, I'm actually in Virginia, but
No. UCLA is the university of the corner of Lenox Avenue.
Oh, you got it. That's right, Greg. You got me on that one, Greg. That's a good one. Carol, and thank you. I didn't know you were from Buffalo, Crystal. Oh my God.
I am.
Those are you, your family, your friends, everyone. My goodness, what a tragic thing that happened. And Carol, you're absolutely fascinating. You're a traveler. My gosh, I'm a geographer and I've traveled and I lived in Belize. I work for the UN. So yes, the Valley of Peace. You probably know the Valley of Peace in Belize. I helped to establish that village in Cayo district. Yes, so I'll be returning to Belize for the first time in a number of years. But I just want to say thank you for sharing. I want to get in contact with you afterwards to follow up. And it's just fascinating. I'll be in Cape Calker. I've stayed in Dangriga. I've been to Honduras and Livingston and Guatemala and Chetumal. We've just got a lot to talk about. And I'm sure you can give me some pointers. But I just want to make a quick announcement that on Saturday, everyone, if you're in the Leimert Park area, stop by. Today is Malcolm X's birthday. He would have been 97 today. We're having a Malcolm X festival at Leimert Park Village. There are 3 venues. One is the Barbara Morrison Theater. The other one is the Umoja Center, and the third one is the World Stage. It's free. It's going to be a full day of activity, of food and poetry, but most important, it's going to be a workshop on how to engaging our youth and the issues with our youth. We want to bridge the gap between our generation, that new Malcolm, and the new generation that grew up and they call it the Shaw, meaning Crenshaw. All of this is leading towards an effort to co-name Crenshaw from the 10 freeway to 79th Street. So come on out and enjoy the festivities on Saturday from 12 until 6. There's going to be all kinds of service booths. And we don't want vendors that are making money. We want to give education and provide information to the community. So we want the whole day to reflect the life and times and meaning and message of Malcolm X. So thank you, Crystal, for allowing me to get this little announcement in. Thank you, Greg, and thank you also, Steve, and everyone here today. And hopefully we'll see you on Saturday. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Pass the word. Thank you.
Awesome. And for anybody else, I'll see you guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys tonight at Glack's event. Their dinner is tonight at 6 o'clock, I believe it is, or 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So Stephen, are you going to be there? No, Stephen, are you in town? Okay. All right, everyone. See you guys next week. Make sure you pass it on. Share the platform. Carol, thank you so much. You have been absolutely awesome. And we are so inspired by you. All of us want to jump on a plane tomorrow and go somewhere. So we're going to be planning trips to live life to the fullest. So thank
Right.
you guys. Congratulations to all your graduating seniors and college students. And be safe out there. Prayers for Buffalo. Prayers for all of us, because they're not the only ones that were in danger. We all are. So let's pray and let's lift our vibrations and let everybody know that we are valuable. We will see you guys next week. We have a great guest next week, and have a great weekend. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye,
Assalamu
everyone.
alaikum.